ESPN.
Welcome back to the Senior League Baseball World Series in Easley, South Carolina. Second matchup of the day, and it features the Asia Pacific region champs, New Zealand, the Auckland Baseball Association. It faces the Netherlands, the winners of the Europe-Africa Regional, Kennemerland Little League. And those two square off today in our second elimination game of the day. Winner moves on, loser, its season is over. This New Zealand team played 2 days ago. Its lone game in the tournament and fell 4-1 to Mexico. So it aims to bounce back today to keep its season alive. It was a low-scoring affair, but the man who drove in the lone run for the Kiwis is their big bat in the middle of the order, Brandon Wilmshurst. One of the heart and soul players for this New Zealand team, according to Mark Irwin. He got him on the board, but that was the lone run they could muster against Matamoros Little League and Mexico. So meanwhile, it faces the Europe-Africa region champions. That's Haarlem's Kennemerland Little League from the Netherlands. They won their region championship earlier this month and defeated Canada in overwhelming fashion on Saturday. So that vaulted them to a matchup yesterday against the favorite Caribbean champs, Curacao, where they lost an excruciating 8-inning wacky marathon of a game, 16-13. They're hoping to bounce back. One consistent force in the lineup for the Netherlands has been Tristan Kyer. He's done it in the field. He's done it on the mound. He's also done it at the plate. He has driven in 5 runs. He has scored 4 runs. So he's generated 9 runs for his teams by doing a little bit of this as well, stealing some bases and putting some pressure on the opposition. That was a game the Netherlands led at one point 13-11 going into the 7th inning, where Curacao scored 2 in the top half to force extras. And then they scored 3 in the 8th to send the Netherlands to this side of the bracket. And there you go. You see the pregame preparation, to say the least, for this New Zealand team. Let's take a look and take a listen. Quite an impressive display, and the Netherlands on the other side of the chalk there. They played along in a sense and certainly gave the New Zealand team their moment to shine. Now, I think this is all stems from the New Zealand national rugby team. Of course, the All Blacks, they are world renowned for their successes on and off the field. That is a very popular ritual, something that All Blacks team does, of course, and these youngsters trying to mimic what they see from some of their idols, and they're doing it on the baseball field. And the Netherlands, they basically stayed arm in arm down the first baseline, enjoying the show. So New Zealand setting the tempo and setting the bar here, but who's going to come out on top when things are all said and done? The Netherlands, of course, they are the home team for this game. They won the coin flip about an hour and a half before first pitch. And so this is the lineup card for Mark Irwin. His club is back at the Senior League World Series for the second time in 4 years. Regan Soper at the top, followed by Joseph Hill and Cyril Wilson. They are expected at the plate here in the top half. Dufty, Hay, and Wilmshurst, they certainly bring a lot of power to that middle portion of the order. And so can New Zealand pick up a win in this tournament? The win would not only be a monumental one for many reasons, but it would keep their season alive. A New Zealand team has never reached the Senior League World Series title game. Matter of fact, the last Asia Pacific team to do so was Melbourne, Australia 7 years ago, where they lost in the championship. So New Zealand, where baseball is essentially a niche sport. The real national pastimes, rugby and cricket, take a back seat for these youngsters who are going to be on display on the diamond today. And that lineup is going to face Stein Schulte ter Horst. He is one of the youngest players on the team, the 14-year-old from Hoofddorp. That's a town right next door to Haarlem. Schulte ter Horst, the younger brother of Matthias, who's the designated hitter in the 7-hole today, is out on the mound and competing in this tournament for the first time this weekend. He did not play in the Netherlands' first 2 games on Saturday and Sunday. And he is definitely one of the reliable arms for Sherman Garrio, whose team went toe-to-toe with Curacao. The favorites on the international side nearly knocked them out before falling 16-13 in extra innings. So can they bounce back and keep their season alive? The winner advances to play on Wednesday. This is the defense around the 14-year-old lefty. Lorenzo Willem moves from third base, where he played the last couple of days, to behind the plate. It's Gieling, Vicario, the catcher the last 2 days for the Netherlands, Kyer and Van de Graaf around the diamond, and then left to right in the outfield, Jaris Mainsma, who's been a super productive bat in the order over these first 2 games for the Netherlands. Colin Brewers, and then Cairo Hazel, who started at second the last 2 days. He is in right today. It's the Netherlands and New Zealand trying to keep their seasons alive. Again, the winner will play again on Wednesday. And from there, you'd have to win 4 games in 4 days to ultimately be crowned World Series champs. So it is an uphill climb for both of these teams, of course, finding themselves on the elimination side of the bracket after their respective losses. New Zealand has only played once and it lost. The Netherlands beat Canada 2 days ago, so these Kiwis are looking for a win. The umpires today, Barry Yates is behind the plate. Doug Fravel is the first base umpire. Alex Hufford at second. And David Wilson, the third base umpire, completing our 4-man crew. Sit back, relax. Here we are, ready to go. First pitch is in for a strike at 108, and we are underway.
Come on, Rick. Come on, Rick.
Another warm early afternoon in Easley, which is about a half hour outside of Greenville, South Carolina. 87 degrees at first pitch, but it is humid. Schulte ter Horst, who is, according to his coach, known as a very effective control pitcher. Does not walk many batters and makes his opposition put the ball into play. He's gotten ahead of Regan Soper. Coming with the 0-2, and he got him look. No, that's just away, so the count's 1-2.
Come on, then, Rick. Come on, then, Rick. Come on, Rick. Come on, big Rick.
Soper, speedy leadoff hitter. He's the 16-year-old from Green Bay, Auckland. 1-2, chopped over the mound. This is Tristan Kyer. He's got a great glove at short, and he retires his counterpart, so there's one out here in the first. Kyer, you can make the case he's undoubtedly the most valuable player on this team, just considering what he does in the field, at the plate. He also started yesterday's game against Curacao. He runs the bases well. Now it's Joseph Hill. Schulte ter Horst going to work from the stretch, even with nobody on. The bunt is a good one. No chance there for Schulte Terhorst. Excellent placement for Joseph Hill. And so the 15-year-old from Auckland is aboard. And Mark Irwin says this is the fastest player on the team right here. And that's just a perfectly placed bunt. That is exactly when you set up the bunting drills where you want that baseball to land. So here's Cyril Wilson. He scored the only run 2 days ago in that loss to Mexico. Schulte Terhorst gets the base runner leaning there, and Hill is just able to get the hand in and back before the tag. That throw was a little high, and if it's a bit lower, yep, he had Hill leaning. And did Geeling get the tag on before the right hand slipped back in? I thought Doug Fravel was all over that one. It looked like the right hand might have gotten in before the tag. Now, if that throw is a little lower, as I was saying a moment ago, Hill is, Hill is done. And so our crew is going to get some early video replay work. They go right to the monitor in the top half of the first. Very close play. So let's see if the tag is applied on his back here before the right hand gets in. It's not quite definitive there whether or not the glove even swiped a piece of the jersey. Certainly looks close. This would be the moment right there. But you can see is the right hand on the white base. I think right now he's got the hand on the base. And so at the bedrock of every one of these video replay reviews is you've got to have something that shows you on the replay that you can definitively overturn the call. And I don't know if we have that here. So Yates and his counterpart, they're taking a close look. And that's Fravel as well. And so they do determine nothing to overturn this. So Hill and New Zealand dodges a bullet. So Schulte Terhorst, who his head coach calls the Tom Glavine of the staff. That's the second Glavine comp that we've gotten this week. And easily nearly picks a man off in the opening frame. But Schulte Terhorst, very measured, very calm on the mound, collected at all times. Now, he's not going to blow New Zealand away with some Loda mid-80s fastball. His fastball probably tops out at about 75, 76. But with Schulte Terhorst, it's all about location, letting the defense behind him do the work, and mixing in a curveball as well. Here's the 2-0 now. And Wilson lets that one go, misses wide. Wilson went 1 for 2, plus he walked in the loss Saturday to Mexico. .3-0 gets the outside corner. Schulte Terhorst, he's undoubtedly familiar with this stage. This shouldn't be anything too big for him to handle. He was on the intermediate World Series team for the Netherlands last season. He walks Wilson, so now there's 2 runners on. So base runners for the Kiwis. Caleb Dufty's the cleanup man coming up next. Dufty from Clark's Beach, just outside of Auckland. Swings at the first pitch, rolls it to third. Vondergraaf had trouble handling it and throws late to second. Bases are full in the top of the first. Dufty put the breaking ball into play. And Vondergraaf, he started to lean towards third, almost as if his instincts wanted him to try to see if he could tag the runner, but that time Hill was just too far past him and too close to the base. So they're loaded for Liam Hill. Liam Hay, one of the co-captains on the roster. Hoping to give his team a big lead in the first inning. That's at the letters for a strike. That was a good pitch to hit for Hay. Liam's dad, Tyrone, on the coaching staff. Mark Irwin, the manager of this Asia Pacific Regional championship squad. That's an infield fly. So that's the second out. It's up to Brandon Wilmshurst, who drove in the lone run on Saturday with 2 gone. One of the more productive bats in the order. The 16-year-old from Auckland waits on Schulte to horse his first offering. They are loaded with 2 gone. That one falls just below the knees. It's an elimination game. The loser's season is over and the winner advances to play Wednesday. Some first inning runs would be quite valuable. Willem blocks that one behind the plate. It was Vicario who started behind the plate the first 2 games. He's now at second today. Willem moves from third to now work with the young Schulte Terhorst. Wilmshurst wait on a 2-0. That's low. Well, one of the worst feelings is walking in a run. A walk hurts enough for a pitcher, or will really irritate any pitcher, but walking in a run that's always painful. The lefty fires. So a 3-ball, 1-strike count for Wilmshurst. Looking to make a big splash here in the opening inning. 3-1, outside corner, strike 2. And so Wilmshurst let a couple of good pitches go by there. Now on 3-0, it's understandable to take all the way. That one carving to the outside corner. To the big slugger. With 2 gone and the base is full. Payoff is tapped foul. A nice battle between the lefty and Wilmshurst at the plate. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. There it is. That's low. And that brings in a run. So New Zealand is on the board in the first inning. Hill scores, and they're still loaded for Jack Rust, the first baseman. Rust takes a fastball right down the middle for a strike. Yeah, that's a minor, but could be a very important first step here for New Zealand. And scored just the 1 run on Saturday in the loss to Mexico. And they've got a great chance to really strike big in the opening inning. 1-1 is pounded foul down the line. I would think Schulte Terhorst might come back with that curveball in the outside corner. Undoubtedly the most improved pitcher on the roster this year for the Netherlands. Coming home with a big 1-2 with 2 gone. Swing, that one is drilled and it falls into center, a base hit. Brewers comes up throwing, 2-run score. 3-0 New Zealand. Jack Russ got a fastball in on the hands. He turned on it, and he beat the lefty. So a 2-run single brings Wilson and Dufty home. New Zealand has a 3-run lead. This is Kyle Roberts, so it's a left-on-left battle. Roberts fouls that one away. Schulte Terhorst, he retired the first hitter in the inning, but then allowed the hit, the single to Hill, the walk to Wilson. And Dufty reached on that fielder's choice. That's one that I think the Netherlands defense would want back. And that was ruled an error on Leify van der Graaf earlier this inning. Now, Schulte Terhorst was able to get Hay just a few moments later. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. That one skips away. Both runners advance. And now 2 are in scoring position for Kyle Roberts. That has been the one troubling aspect for the Netherlands this weekend, or this early portion of this tournament. They commit 4 errors in yesterday's 8-inning loss to Curacao. Commit one on Saturday, so Sherman Gario is out on the mound now to try to settle everybody down. I think the one that Schulte Terhorst wants back is that at bat against Wilmshurst. He walked the number 6 hitter. That brought in the first run, and then Rust just plated 2 with a single up the middle. So an inauspicious start for the Dutch. And Roberts about to dig back in with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Here comes a 2-1. Good breaking pitch, strike 2. Roberts bombs his head up and down. Almost out of respect for the pitch. He has seen it once. Schulte Terhorst trying to get out of this inning. Oh, and he hits Roberts. Bases are loaded again for New Zealand. The 9th hitter is coming to the plate. That's Hurley Wong. Tried to bring the curveball inside once again, just like he did on the prior pitch. Wong waits, slices that one foul. And again, it's worth pointing out, all three of these runs are unearned against the left-hander. And just considering how this one is played out, Netherlands could consider themselves lucky to get out of this, allowing just 3. So can Schulte ter Horst strand the bases loaded? 33rd pitch of the inning. Coming to Hurley Wong. That's in the dirt. And Willem blocks it. Yeah, nice play by Willem behind the plate. Wong trying to pick up where he left off on Saturday. He had 2 of his team's 4 hits. And again, out of the 9 hole, so he was 2 for 2 at the plate in that loss Saturday. Big opportunity here. He waits, swings, lifts that one high and deep out to center. Brewers circles underneath, and the inning comes to a close. 3 unearned runs score off of Schulte ter Horst. New Zealand couldn't have asked for a better start. Here's Sherman Garria's lineup card. 3rd game in 3 days for the Netherlands. They won their opener against Canada in 5 innings, beat them 11-1, and then lost the 8-inning marathon to Curacao yesterday, 16-13. So in this elimination game, here's the lineup. Goes Brewers, Kyer, and Mainsma due up here in the top half of the first. It's a lineup that has, in 2 games, they've had 38 runners reach safely. They've collectively walked 17 times, so the problem hasn't been the offense, scoring 11 and 13 runs respectively in their first 2 games. They were outscored in that offensive melee, what turned out to be a heavyweight bout yesterday against Curacao, a game in which the Netherlands had a 2-run lead going into the 7th of that game. The lineup faces Zantau Bauer, 16-year-old from Albany, Auckland. And Mark Irwin calls this left-hander no doubt the ace of the staff. He's got a low 80s fastball. That's essentially above average for this level. Nice slider and changeup to complement that as well. Here's Colin Brewers to get things started. He's the starting center fielder for the Dutch. New Zealand's got the 3-0 lead. Brewers drove in a run yesterday. He also walked twice in that opening round win against Canada Saturday. Brewers takes that at the letters for a strike. It's really not just one hitter. This entire Netherlands lineup has shown that they are very savvy at the plate. So think about that. They've only played 13 innings of baseball the last 2 days, and 38 runners have reached safely. That's basically 3 an inning on average. There's the 2-1. And the count goes 3 balls, 1 strike to Brewers. He's a 16-year-old from Haarlem. This Kennemerland Little League from about 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam, near the coastline of the country. Good location that time from Bauer. Well, Bauer's got a nice rhythm on the mound. He, too, works out of the stretch even with nobody on. And Irwin has said his work ethic has improved immensely. Close, but outside. And so the Netherlands has its 18th walk of the tournament. We just started its 3rd game. This is the defense around Bauer. His catcher is Liam Hay. Around the diamond, it's Jack Russ, Joseph Hill, Regan Soper, and Brandon Wilmshurst. And then left to right in the outfield, Cyril Wilson, Caleb Dufty, and Hurley Wong. This is Tristan Kyer. Runner on the go, swing and a miss, throw down to second, not in time. It's another stolen base for the Netherlands. And so just like that, after 7 pitches, they got a man in scoring position. They stole 4 bases Saturday, 2 more yesterday, so now 7 as a team. The offense, again, is not the issue for this squad. Yesterday it was just they didn't quite have the pitchers to stay up with the hot-hitting Curaçao team. Kyer's been brilliant. Leads this team with 4 hits, 5 RBIs, 4 runs scored over the course of the first 2 games of the tournament. They are, of course, are hoping their tournament continues. 0-2. Good eye, lays off that one. And now for the Netherlands, this is their 3rd game in 3 days. So should they advance, they'll get a much needed off day on Monday. New Zealand, after losing its opener, had a day off. They did not play yesterday as they were awaiting the loser of that Netherlands-Curaçao matchup. Bauer coming home. Kyer reaches at it, strikes it foul. And so the winner of this one would advance to Wednesday's game, and from there, they'd have to win 4 games in 4 days to be crowned World Series champs. 1-2. It was a wacky game yesterday that Kyer started. He actually pitched into the 3rd inning. He wasn't quite as effective as he would have hoped on the mound, but he stayed in the lineup, and boy, he was as effective as he certainly would have hoped with the bat in the hand. He had a hit, he walked, he stole a base. 2-2 is popped up, lifted into shallow right. Hurley Wong has a beat on it. He makes the catch. Brewers with all that speed tags, and he winds up at 3rd. So he's 90 feet away from scoring with the number 3 hitter, Joris Mainsma, coming up. I mean, right there, this is a good illustration of what Sherman Garrio's team does philosophically. They want to be aggressive on the base paths. They will be selective at the plate, of course, to get themselves on the bases first and foremost. So here is Mainsma. Hit the iconic 3-run home run in the late innings yesterday that put his team ahead momentarily. He's got one of just a few home runs in the tournament for any of the teams. Finished 2 for 4 yesterday, also walked. And it was a dramatic looking home run, to say the least. It was just a towering high fly. And it just felt like it was hanging up there in left field for what felt like a few minutes. Ferenc Wouters, Curaçao's left fielder, leapt up at the wall. It nearly got his glove on the baseball, almost robbed Mainsma of the homer, but came away empty. It was a 3-run blast. He's trying to pick up Brewers from 3rd, and the count's 3-0. At that moment, the Dutch thought maybe they were going to advance to the international bracket semifinal. That home run gave them a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. They were the home team yesterday as well. Bauer coming. He's got to find the zone and misses in the dirt. So now 2 runners on, and already a pair of walks for the Dutch. Twan Geeling, a cleanup hitter over at first base today, is coming up. Curacao, though, in a matter of, I think it was 6 pitches, they got a couple of runners on base, and both of them scored to tie things up at 13 in that 7th frame. They almost took the lead for good in that inning. Netherlands got out of it, though. Geeling squares. The runner takes off, of course, for second, and Mainsma has the stolen base. So now Geeling has himself set up possibly for a pair of RBIs if he puts one into play here. The last thing New Zealand wants to do is give some runs right back after taking a 3-run lead in the top half of the first. Bauer, very aggressive strike thrower, has walked 2, though. 1-0, that one is looped into right. It's a base hit. Brewers scores. Mainsma gets the stop at third. And the Dutch are on the board. They respond with a first-inning run. Geeling has his 5th RBI of the tournament. Recognized the breaking pitch. Didn't try to yank it and crush it. Just threw the barrel of the bat at it, and it paid off. So Lorenzo Willem hits with runners at the corners. Takes a strike to begin the at-bat. Bauer has relied a bit more on the off speed in this first inning. Again, someone who's got a fastball that can top out at about 83. He's out ahead of Willem now, 0-2. And he's thrown a no-hitter before. That is one of his most memorable achievements in his still very young baseball career. Trying to put away Willem here. He yanks that one foul. Xantao Bauer delivers. Changeup misses in the dirt. Willem has been on base 5 times in the first 2 games of this tournament for the Dutch. He's walked 3 times. One-two, bouncing ball. That's through the hole on the left side. And the Netherlands scores another one. Geeling stops at second. Willem drives in Mainsma. And so you put these runners on. More often than not, this Dutch team has proved that they will bring them around. It was a breaking pitch low in the zone. And he beat the defense that time. So we've got 5 first-inning runs combined and counting. Meeting on the mound, part of shaping out the rest of Mark Irwin's staff is Tyrone Hay and Matthew Fegan.
The third baseman, number 8,
Now it's Leify van der Graaf. Takes pitch on the outside edge for a strike. Van de Graaf in the tournament, 2 for 6. He's also walked twice. Now, he's the speedster, a very savvy base runner because he has stolen 3 bases. He's got 2 on here with 1 out. Swings and lofts that one down the line. Long run for Wong. No play. It's a Netherlands lineup that is very difficult to put away. Bauer now comes set. He could use it out here. The last 3 have reached. Van de Graaf lines that one. It's past Hill. He can't pick it. Here comes the runner. Gilling around third. Throw to the plate. He slides under the tag. Hay couldn't swipe him as he came flying in down the line. The throw beat him by several steps. That one skipped by Hill. The throw is on target. Yeah, where's Gilling? And did he get under? It looks like he did. Liam Hay appears to have missed him entirely. And we are tied up just like that in the bottom of the first. So that's 3 straight hits for the Dutch. Runners at the corners for Matthias Schulte ter Horst. Willem wound up at third, and then Van de Graaf at first. He's for sure a threat to steal here. That one is hit hard, right on the screws to short. Soper up with it to second for 1. Turn to first, they got it. Exactly what New Zealand needed. But the Netherlands responds with 3 runs of its own. The excitement of the World Series can be downloaded now on the new Little League World Series app. Fans can view schedules, watch highlights, plan out your experience today using the Little League World Series app. Plenty of orange in the stands, the de facto national color, in a sense, for the Netherlands. Haarlem's Kennemerland Little League has reached the Senior League World Series. They did so by winning 4 of their 5 regional games earlier this month in Italy. Their big win over the Verona Little League team is what helped them punch their ticket to this World Series. They won the first game 11-1, and they did so thanks to the run rule. They beat Canada in 5 innings. Scored 13 runs yesterday in an 8-inning marathon. A wacky, chaotic, back and forth. It was a comeback, then there was another comeback before Curaçao ultimately KO'd the Dutch in the 8th inning. And so after the Kiwis scored 3 times in the top half, the Dutch scored 3 in the home half, so we're all square again. And back to the top of the order, it's Regan Soper, the leadoff man for New Zealand, who fouls that one away. Stein Schulte ter Horst, again, he allowed the 3 runs. They're all unearned. There was an error that kept the inning alive in that top half of the first. Lefty drops the hook in there and hits the dirt, though. This is a Netherlands team that's very passionate about the game of baseball. Again, soccer is so prominent and so popular at the youth level. However, these guys love their baseball. This one's falling into center, but Brewers is there for the first out. So Soper is 0 for 2. Several of these Dutch players, they were on the Intermediate League World Series team that made it to California last year. Intermediate is the 50-70 field. Bit of a hybrid between Little League and regulation, senior or major league level dimensions. Joseph Hill takes that one away, including today's starter, Schulte ter Horst. Gario was an assistant on that staff a year ago. This season he gets the bump up to the manager level here at senior league level. They won a game but then lost 2. So they were eliminated rather quickly, and they're hoping that this season is not a similar fate in Easley. Elimination game on the international bracket side. 1-1 to Hill. Spots that one on the outside corner for a strike. Hill singled and scored one of those runs in the first inning. Yeah, that's a nice pitch. Great spin, rotation, and now he's looking for the put-away pitch. Hill chops it right back to the lefty, turns, and a nice play to first, 2 gone. If the Netherlands can steady the ship on the mound, again, they gave up 16 runs yesterday, then anything is possible here moving forward. However, New Zealand has something to say about that. Quite the journey from Auckland, New Zealand to Easley. Cyril Wilson lets that one go. If you measured it with a with a tape measure, the distance from Auckland to Easley is 8,200 miles. Gosh, or 13,000 kilometers for those that use that system of measurement. Schulte ter Horst has fallen behind Wilson, 3 balls and no strikes from down under. So while the temperature is, and that is the quite jarring difference here compared to 8,000 miles away. It's winter down in New Zealand now. It's temperatures in the 90s this week here in South Carolina. So Stein walks Wilson. That's the second walk Wilson has drawn. You've got the World Cup obviously ongoing, the Women's World Cup ongoing right now in Australia and New Zealand, where the temperatures are in the 50s. Fahrenheit, that is. Here's Caleb Dufty, cleanup hitter. Mighty swing, but he comes up empty. While it is approaching 8 p.m. in Haarlem, Netherlands, it's already tomorrow in New Zealand. Wave and a miss for strike 2. Auckland 16 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone, so it's approaching 6 a.m. on Tuesday, where these Kiwis are from. Schulte ter Horst is trying to strand him in on base. Looked like he got Dufty to offer at it. Willems got to collect. Does so calmly, and the inning is over. First strikeout for Stein, Schulte ter Horst. And the Dutch bat next in the bottom of the second. Find Little League on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. Don't forget to use the hashtag LLWS. It is World Series season on the baseball and softball sides at all levels. Senior, junior, intermediate, little league. Things will be rocking in Williamsport in a few weeks. New pitcher for New Zealand. Zantau Bauer is out after facing 7 hitters and allowing 3 runs. And it's Kobe Antonovich,
Up for the Netherlands, the second baseman.
the 6'6" right-hander who was on the mound on Saturday and impressed in that 4-1 loss to Mexico. Javon Vicario leads off for the Dutch. It's 8-9-1 due up for Kennemerland Little League. Antonovich, you see a tall, imposing frame on the mound. He's got some nice tail to that 2-seam fastball. He's behind in the count, though, 2-0. Antonovich threw an inning and 2/3 in relief on Saturday in the 4-1 loss. It was an inning and 2/3 of no-hit baseball. At the knees for a strike. Didn't allow a hit, didn't walk anybody, he struck out 4. So this is not a bad decision here at all for Mark Irwin to call upon the tall righty again. Now here's what's critical. Again, it's all based on rest. If you throw more than 30 pitches, you have to sit a day before you can then throw again. That's there for a called second strike. I should clarify, if you throw between 31 and 45 pitches, then you need 1 day's rest. If you throw a 30 and under, you can throw the next day. Now, the beauty is neither really matters for Antonovich because they had yesterday off. Payoff at the knees, low and away. Certainly looked good. Vicario draws the walk, though. Yeah, that's one that Antonovich is certainly going to want back. However, he's going to have to work now with a man on base. So Cairo Hazel, who was at second each of the first 2 days for the Netherlands. Today, the right fielder. Decent lead for Vicario. Hazel pops that one up foul. He can't get the butt down on the first try. And Antonovich, he is, again, one of the most relied upon arms for Irwin, who thinks he's just scratching the surface in terms of his potential. The 16-year-old from Auckland. Readies to fire. Vicario really bouncing off the base. He takes off. Hazel grounds out to Rust. The hit and run was on. Another element of this Netherlands offense that we see often. Runner does ultimately move up here. Vicario got an excellent jump. So Hazel, in a sense, if he put that one into play to protect his teammate. However, I'm not sure a perfect throw even gets Vicario there. Nevertheless, he's in scoring position, and we go back to the top of the order. Here's Colin Brewers. Leadoff man walked, stole a base, and scored in the first. And he dribbles the first one foul. Just to keep hammering the point. So the Dutch are 1 time through the order. They have walked 3 more times. So that is 20 walks as a team in 14 1/3 innings. That's astounding. That bunt is pushed down the line. Got to be a bare hand play from third. Wilmshurst can't get it there on target, and Vicario scores. The Netherlands puts the pressure again on the defense, and it takes a lead. Great speed from Brewers. And Boy, that was going to be very close. However, Russ couldn't handle it. So Brewers gets credit for a hit there, will not get the RBI. It's the throwing error allows Vicario to score, the run that puts the home team ahead. Now Antonovich certainly thought that he got Vicario looking at a called third strike. However, he does walk him. The ground out moved him over, and then a bunt is what gets the run home. Of course, mixed with the error. So an unfavorable start here to the second for the Kiwis. Oh, wow, that time Brewers was left exposed. Tristan Kyer bluffed the bunt, then yanked it back. So it might have been a bit of miscommunication with a sign. He squares again, that's outside. Another throw down to first. Brewers is taking a very aggressive secondary lead. But you saw him just shrug there. I think he's saying, well, I got back. Kyer flew out to right his first time up. What makes Kyer's play that much more impressive in this tournament is that he just turned 15 2 weeks ago on the 19th. Throw to first, very close, but Brewers gets back. So Kyer, one of the younger players, and yet maybe the most valuable in terms of his abilities on the mound, at short, at the plate, running the base paths as well. Antonovich paying close attention to Kyer. At first base. Still just one out. Netherlands already with a run home. Elimination game. The winner advances to play Wednesday. The loser goes home. Brewers on the move. That pitch in for a strike. Throw down on target. And in time, Brewers is caught. Great throw from Liam Hay. And now Antonovich is a strike away from retiring the side. Perfect throw. And they needed a perfect throw to get Brewers. So Antonovich, that was a little cat and mouse game between the two, and advantage pitcher. So now the 1-2. Swing, and there's a high fly. This is deep, left center. There it goes, and it splits the gap. Kyer heads to second, picks up his third base coach, and holds there. So the aggressiveness this time hurts the Dutch. That easily plates Brewers, but instead it's a two-out double. And Kyer just keeps on stroking here. Barreled it up and sent it out to the gap.
Number 25.
Kyer 5 for 8 in this tournament. And he's also walked several times. So he is just he's a menace at the plate. Here's Joris Mainsma. And you don't want to get too carried away if you're the Netherlands, but I wouldn't put it past him here to have Kyer be as aggressive as he really can be. 1-0 runs inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Liam Hay throwing out Brewers has proved to be the most significant play in this second inning for New Zealand. That pitch up and in. There goes Kyer, and yep, you knew he was a threat to steal, and now he's at third base here. The pitch ran up and in, by the way, and Mainsma just got out of the way. Wilmshurst with a fine job of keeping that in front of him. If that one bounced away, Kyer gets up and probably scores pretty easily. There's 2-0. Outside corner for a strike. But with Kyer now sitting at third, again, any sort of wild sequence here at drop third strike, even just a wild pitch or a pass ball, could help out the Netherlands. Boy, great cut to that pitch. A nice cutter that time from the right-hander. Let's see if he can strand Kyer. 2-2. And was that ball 4? That was ball 4. So now runners at the corners.
The first baseman, number 26, Twan Gillen.
That's the second time Mainsma has walked, and the fourth today as a team for the Netherlands. The walks don't just help you put runners on base and then ultimately score them. It also just keeps increasing that pitch count of your opposition. Here's Twan Gillen. Takes a strike on the outside corner. So Antonovich probably should have got the third strike call on the leadoff hitter Vicario anyway. But, you know, the selective approach from Mainsma just makes you throw it. Now a 22nd pitch. And he's a strike away from retiring the side again. The Dutch have untied this one with a run here in the second. They've got Kyer at third, and Mainsma taking the aggressive lead off of first. Gehling checked the swing, and that one fluttered high and away. Gehling drove in a run with a single in the first, so he now has a team best 5 RBIs in the tournament. It's just the third game for Haarlem, Netherlands. 1-2, ropes that one to short, a dive, Soper's got it, inning over. So the Dutch put 4 runners on base, come away with just 1, but they have the lead. The Netherlands adds a run and now has a 1-run lead before the start of the third. Second elimination game of the day, and easily. If you want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball, visit playlittleleague.org and enter your address to find a Little League community near you. J.B. Owens Sports Complex. It's about 15 miles from downtown Greenville. We are in Easley, South Carolina. It has been the gracious host of the Senior League Baseball World Series since 2017. This the 5th tournament. The 2020 and 21 iterations were canceled, of course. Last year it was Puerto Rico that won the championship, defeating Norfolk, Virginia, the Southeast region champs in the U.S. So who will take home the crown in 2023? Liam Hay is the number 5 hitter in the New Zealand order. He leads off against Stein Schulte Terhorst. Oh, 2. That struck foul behind the plate. Schulte to Horst, puts away Hay. Back-to-back strikeouts now, stretching back to the second. And it's that signature curveball, the 14-year-old. I mean, he's on the mound here facing the big boys. Just about everybody older than him that he has faced. And the lefty, of course, the youngest on this Netherlands roster, as someone that Sherman Gario says just keeps getting better and better. Brandon Wilmshurst now on the right side. Second elimination game of the day. At this point, including this one, we are now 10 games in. 4 games a day, both Saturday, Sunday, and then today as well. Let's take a moment just to recognize and acknowledge the efforts of all the volunteers here. The grounds crew is terrific. This place has looked excellent all weekend, and we will continue playing to determine a champ through Saturday. Field's been in great shape. The tournament directors, the volunteers, everybody on hand has done an admirable job hosting 12 teams, 6 of them from across the world, and putting on a great tournament. Wilmshurst retired 6-3 on the putout. Jack Rust is up next. And now it looks like Schulte ter Horst is starting to settle into a rhythm. It's worth pointing out, he gave up the 3 runs in the first. They were all unearned. There was an error that just kept that first inning alive, and now it looks like the lefty is starting to steady a bit. He's retired 6 of the last 7 hitters he's faced. With 2 out, first pitch to Rust is on the outside corner for a strike. Again, Easley's just been a fine host for this tournament since 2017. This is a great complex, too. You've got 8 baseball and softball fields, 140 acres of just public park space. Tennis, basketball, everything. There you go. There's some other fields in the distance. 1-1 is hammered hard on the ground to Van de Graaf. Got it. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Schulte ter Horst. He is starting to lock in now. His team has a 1-run lead, and they go back to work in the bottom third next. The Little League Community Heroes Recognition Program helps to honor those dedicated individuals who not only volunteer their time at local Little League programs, but also contribute in other ways to improve their communities. So to learn more or to nominate a community hero, visit littleleague.org/communityheroes. This is the second of 4 elimination games today. And for a third straight inning, we have a third. We have our third different pitcher, I should say, on the mound for New Zealand. Xanto Bauer started. Kobe Antonovich pitched the second. And so Caleb Dufty comes in from center field to pitch. He is trying to solve the Dutch riddle. It's 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Netherlands. Lorenzo Willem knocked in a run with a base hit in the first. Digs in. And, oh, that one got away from Dufty. Two 2-0 to Willem finally finds the zone, strike 1. So the new center fielder now is Hurley Wong. So Wong moves from right to center. And Jaden Whittle takes over in right. New Zealand scored first and scored 3 times in that top of the first inning. Since then, the Netherlands have answered with 3 of their own in the home half and then added 1 in the second. So can Dufty solve the riddle? Misses upstairs and it's another walk. I mean, how many times have we said that for this Netherlands team? That is now 5 walks as a team. Collectively, they have drawn 22 walks in 15 innings of tournament play. That's astonishing. And when they get on, more often than not, they like to run. Leify van de Graaf takes the first pitch in the dirt, and that wild pitch allows Willem to skedaddle up to second. Not even just the stolen bases, but we have seen the hit and run put on more often than not. (1-0) is backhanded by Hay. So Dufty, he's the 16-year-old from Clarks Beach. He's a power hitter, more so known for his bat than his pitching prowess, but he certainly can get it done on the mound for sure. There's a 3-0. That's ball 4. 6 walks for Netherlands. And now it's Matthias Schulte Terhorst with 2 on and nobody out. So I mentioned how this is an elimination game day. One team has already gone home. Hawaii on the U.S. side of the bracket, the West Region champs, took out Illinois. They overwhelmed them 12-0 earlier today. So they advance to play again Wednesday. Once more, the winner of this game would also advance to play Wednesday. That would be a Wednesday 7:30 Eastern first pitch. And the winner of this one would play either Canada or Mexico. Canada lost to this Netherlands team, so the Netherlands will have played 2 more times before Canada ultimately plays its next game later tonight. There's a bunt off of Schulte to Horace's bat. Dufty collects it, makes the play. Both runners advance. So 2 in scoring position for the Dutch with Javon Vicario coming up. And they certainly they play smart baseball. The Netherlands do when it comes to the offensive side of things.
Second baseman, number 9.
Second plate appearance for Vicario. And he's got a chance to maybe drive in a couple of runs here. You've got a fast runner at third. I think the one thing we haven't seen Gario put on here is any sort of safety squeeze bunt, and none is needed. Vicario plates Willem. It's 5-3. First pitch swinging, and he gets the job done. Just blasts that one right through the left side. Even if the infield was back, that one likely gets through. So runners at the corners with 1 out, and Cairo Hazel will hit next. That's Sigmar Eustasio. He is the first base manager, pardon me, first base coach for the Netherlands. Take it back. That's Gario talking with Barry Yates. So look at Van de Graaf. And yeah, so they put his hands on Soper there. And how are the umpires going to sort this one out? Van de Graaf, it looked like he put his hands out to brace himself if he went into the shortstop. And it appears the umpires are going to say, let's play on. So Van de Graaf, he's at third. Vicario at first, and here's the 9-hitter, Cairo Hazel.
Come on, Cairo.
Hazel doubled in a pair of runs in the early innings of the loss to Curacao yesterday. Runner on the move from first. He had to put that one into play. That's foul. Hazel also singled and scored a run in the win against Canada, so he has been effective when he's been up at the plate. Dufty in a tricky spot. Vicario goes, pitches way inside. Van de Graaf stays at third. It's that short backstop. So if you go from third, it's got to be no hesitation. So no stolen base for Vicario. But here's Hazel with a chance to maybe bring in several more. 2-run lead for the Netherlands. Wave and a miss, good off speed. Dufty fooled Hazel that time. Here's a 1-2. A good pitch for Hazel to hit. Taps it foul. And Liam Hay wants to talk with Dufty. Bottom 3 in our second elimination game. One, two. That's up high. Dufty delivers. Hazel strikes it down the line, but foul. He got a fastball. He was just a fraction late. There comes another 2-2. No one stays upstairs, so the count goes full. And if you're the New Zealand pitchers, you know, another walk, it doesn't help you to put Hazel on base. Van de Graaf at third, Vicario's at second with 1 out. Runs in tight, ball 4. So that's the third free pass this inning. And the Netherlands has drawn 7 walks today. Yeah, there's only 1 out in the third. It's partly being selective, but it's a hitting approach as well. So it's fouling off a whole bunch of pitches like we just saw Hazel do. It's keeping at-bats alive. That's what's critical here. And the Netherlands have proved they are one of the most effective offenses in this tournament field. First pitch to Brewers misses high and away. Dufty going to go from the wind with the bases full. Just above the letters. Vicario's taking a huge lead. The fielders up the middle, Soper and Hill not holding them on. 2-0. That's a bouncing ball to the right side. That's underneath Rust's mitt. Can they get him in time? Yes. That's Joseph Hill, who backs up his teammate, but the Netherlands adds another run. Hill was hustling behind him the whole way, so there's a 3-4-3 out at first. Brewers is retired. But he brings in another run. So now runners at second and third. It's Vicario and Hazel still on for Tristan Kyer. When it comes to just the offensive might, Curacao squad, I think certainly most talented offensive team in the field. We've seen Hawaii post some big numbers. It beat Texas 11-2 and knocked Illinois out 12-0. It also lost 6-1 to New Jersey yesterday. But one thing that the Netherlands has shown is that it is consistent. 2-0. It's in tight. Here we go, 3-0. That's ball 4. That's now 8 walks allowed by New Zealand pitchers. They're just having trouble finding the zone. That's the 4th walk this inning. New Zealand drew 2 walks in the first, 2 in the second, and 4 in the third. 2 runs are home. It's a slow burn how they get the job done. It really is. They're going to make you work with many runners on, and eventually they try to wear down their opposition. Here's the number 3 hitter, Jaris Mainsma. Takes the first pitch inside. So there's a couple of different philosophies here. You can, of course, make Dufty beat you. But if he grooves one in, this is not the guy you want to try to do that to. 1-0. And there was the pitch. Mainsma was taking the whole way. Mainsma has walked twice himself. He's stolen a base and he scored a run, the 16-year-old from Harlem. There's a 1-1. Swings and drills it foul off to the right. Speaking of Curacao, we do have 2 semifinal games already set for each individual bracket. 1-2. It's upstairs. That one gets by the catcher, but runners stay. Curacao will face Australia in the first international semifinal game. That's tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, and New Jersey and Irmo, South Carolina meet tomorrow in the U.S. semi. Swing and a blast. This one is hit high and deep out to left. It's got some flight. Wilson has enough room to make the play. Inning is over. The Netherlands scores again. They add 2 more. And so they're doubling up New Zealand 6-3 after 3. The Netherlands are doubling up New Zealand at 6-3. The relentless offensive attack continues to flex its muscles. 3 runs in the first, responding to Auckland Baseball Association's 3 in the top half. Another in the second, 2 more in the third. And so at the start of the fourth, the Netherlands has the lead. An elimination game. This is Elimination Monday, in a sense. 4 games, and all 4 will send 1 team home. We will be down to 8 teams left standing of the 12 that we started with a couple of days ago at the day's end. Now, the winner of this one gets a day off, and we'll play Wednesday to try to keep its season alive. A hydration break for the players in these hot, steamy, and humid conditions. So everybody taking a break for a few minutes, and we will as well.
Attention both teams. Game 10 of 2023.
Start of the 4th inning in Easley, South Carolina. Senior League Baseball World Series. Elimination Monday. We will go from 12 teams down to 8 by the day's end, and we have already sent 1 home. Second game of the day has Netherlands ahead of New Zealand 6-3. Everybody with the umbrellas wisely. It is hot. The sun is intense in Easley. Temperatures every day this week are going to reach the 90s. It's very humid, very heavy out there. Earlier today, we saw Hawaii overwhelm Illinois and knocked out Burbank Little League 12-0. So the Central Maui Little League Empire stays alive. It wins its 2nd game and advances to play Wednesday. So Hawaii on the U.S. side of the bracket would face either Texas, a team that it sent to the elimination side of the bracket a few days ago, or Irmo, South Carolina, the Southeast Region champs. It lost to Easley, the host, last night. And so this the first elimination game on the international side of the bracket. 6 teams from across the U.S. and from around the world. You've got the Netherlands 6 time zones away, making the trip here to Easley, South Carolina, and then New Zealand's Auckland Baseball Association Little League. They were deemed the Asia Pacific region champs by the Crows Fly. Heck of a workout this flight would be. It's 8,000 miles from Auckland to Easley, South Carolina, which has been the site for this Senior League World Series since 2017. Stein Schulte ter Horst gets warm again on the mound. Now, Stein is probably one player who did not appreciate the 5-minute hydration break. Yeah, there you go. The exact mileage, 8,300. And I'm pretty sure the metric conversion there is 13 or 14,000 kilometers away. Schulte ter Horst has retired 4 in a row, and 7 of the last 8 New Zealand hitters he's faced. Actually, he hasn't allowed a hit in 9 batters, or the last hit, I should say, was 9 batters ago. That was when Jack Rust singled in a pair in the first. Since then, Schulte ter Horst has walked a man, he's hit a man, and then he's retired everybody else. And it's the first time Jaden Whittle faces the lefty. Whittle lets that one go out of the zone for ball one. Schulte Terhorst, the youngest player on the team. He's one of the youngest in the tournament field. He's only 14, and yet he is taking it to the big guys today. Every roster in this field is filled predominantly with 15 and 16-year-olds. That's the age range for this tournament. So typically rising either sophomores or juniors in high school. But the lefty from Hofdorp is befuddling them. Finds the zone with that breaking pitch. This is Stein's first trip, or first outing on the mound, I should say, this tournament for the Netherlands. The third game for the Dutch in 3 days. 2-1 is spiked into the ground off to the right. And he's a lefty that Sherman Gario trusts. Gario was the assistant on the Netherlands team that reached the Intermediate World Series a year ago in California. There's a 2-2. Breaking pitch. And Whittle does a nice job of laying off that one. Count goes full. The Intermediate World Series features the 50-70 field. So 50 feet from mound to plate and then 70-foot base paths. It's a hybrid between Little League and Senior League. 3-2. That's low and away. So it's a leadoff walk for New Zealand. They certainly need base runners trailing by 3 here in the middle innings. Hurley Wong, the number 9 hitter, is expected next. Schulte Terhorst and the intermediate team last year, they won their first game, but then lost back-to-back and were eliminated. The Tom Glavine of the staff, the calm, measured lefty. You see a lot of love for the Braves here at this tournament, and for a variety of reasons. There's the 1-0 to Wong. Swings, grounds that one softly over to Kyer at short. From his knee, fires to second. And Whittle is retired. So one away, and Wong is safe at first. Smothered it, fired it a bit low, but Vicario is able to handle it and hold the base. So Regan Soper bats next, the leadoff man. Now, the whole Curacao roster, in a sense, is a whole bunch of Braves fans on that roster, largely due to the fact, hey, Ozzie Albies from Curacao himself, and so was Andrew Jones, who is arguably one of the most prominent and most popular recent Braves of the last few decades. Both from Curacao. And it's only natural that maybe a lot of the Dutch players or players on the Netherlands side, even their managers, would appreciate or follow the Braves. Curacao is the Dutch constituent country. There comes a 1-0. Outside corner for a strike. Matter of fact, Hawaii manager Pete DeLima shared a really funny story the other day. He's a huge Braves fan, and really much of the island of Hawaii grew up Braves fans because of the Superstation. All the Braves games on one of the larger cable networks back in the day, TBS, available everywhere. Schulte Terhorst nibbles the corner again, and now he's ahead of the leadoff man, Regan Soper. One on, one out, top of the fourth. New Zealand has watched their counterparts score 6 unanswered. And no better time than now for a response after the leadoff man reached. Stein delivers. Swing. That one is looped up the middle, and a base hit for Soper. So 2 Kiwis are on here in the 4th, and Joseph Hill ready to hit next.
The second baseman, number 2, Joseph Hill.
Garrio's making a walk out to the mound to speak with Schulteterhorst. That was his 70th pitch. And Garrio makes the pitching change. And is he going to go back to Big Brother? Little brother hands the baseball over to Big Brother, Matthias. Schulteterhorst relieves younger bro. And they're going to help Willem with his gear as well behind the plate. So pitching change for the Netherlands with 1 out in the 4th. So from little bro to big bro, Matthias Schulteterhorst takes over for his little brother Stein. Those two on the same team together at the travel all-star level for the first time. And he's trying to bail it. Don't worry, little bro, I got you. 2 runners on, 1 out. And the potential tying run for New Zealand is about to step into the box. That's Joseph Hill, the number 2 hitter. So with the meat of the order coming up here for the Kiwis, Garrio makes a change. Schulteterhorst is on the mound for the 2nd time this weekend. He only threw a handful of pitches on Saturday to close out the 11-1 5-inning run rule win for the Dutch. He faced 4 hitters on Saturday, allowed 2 hits, and then retired the next 2. 2 hits right now sure sounds great for New Zealand. They scored 3 runs in the 1st inning, nothing since, but they've got 2 men on here in the 4th. Right on right battle. Hill tries to bunt it, and it rolls just foul. Geeling picked that one up after it rolled across the chalk line. And that looked like it, yeah, it looked like it was starting to spin back, and boy, Geeling could have. It's tough in the moment right there because you got to have the right footwork. He could have let that one spin back and retreat. The runners would have advanced to 2nd and 3rd, but you would have certainly had Hill exposed running down the line. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a big miss. Hill is 1 for 2 today. He singled and scored in the 1st. 3 weeks shy of his 16th birthday. Here he is in Easley with the rest of this Auckland team. Geeling nearly got the tag on Wong, or make it Soper. Wong is at 2nd, Soper after the base hit. Takes the lead off of 1st. Matthias deals, and it's slashed foul. The number 3 hitter, Cyril Wilson, is on deck. Middle innings of a 7-inning regulation game. The first elimination game on the international side of the bracket. And the right-hander deals. That's high. Runners take off. Throw. Not in time. Wong slides in just ahead of the tag. And now there's no force at any base. Good jump. Schulter to Horst, gears back, lets it go. Swing and a miss, 2 gone. Matthias retires Hill. That's the 3rd strikeout for both of the Schulte to Horsts. Just beat him with the fastball, elevated up in the zone. Here comes Cyril Wilson. Wilson not quite comfortable, so he calls time and steps out. With 2 in scoring position, Wilson takes the strike on the inside edge. Wilson has walked twice today in the 3-hole. Scored one of the 3 runs in the 4th. Looking for a big hit that might bring in 2. And it would cut this deficit at the perfect time. There's a 1-1. Willem gets down to block it. That's there for a called 2nd strike. With 2 out, here comes a 2-2. That's in the dirt, and the count goes full. So the tense, dramatic moment grows. New Zealand is trying to plate a pair. Down 3 in the middle innings of this elimination game. Here comes a payoff. That's at the letters. Called 3rd strike. Wilson leaves the bat on his shoulder the whole at bat. And Matthias Schulte ter Horst comes in and out of the pen strikes out back-to-back Kiwi hitters. He says, little bro, I got your back, don't worry. No damage in the 4th for the Netherlands. The Netherlands is at the plate in the home 4th with a 3-run lead. New Zealand leaves 2 in scoring position in the top half and come away with nothing. So if you want to see the girls with the game this summer, tune into the excitement of the Summer of Softball. Visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great information about starting a softball league and more. Auckland Baseball Association Little League. And they made the quite lengthy and arduous trek from New Zealand to Easley, South Carolina. 4th inning, 4th different pitcher for the Kiwis. This is Hurley Wong, who comes in from center field and replaces Caleb Duffy. The Asia Pacific champs are trying to find the right formula on the mound. it's Gieling, Willem, and Van der Graaf, 4, 5, and 6 in the Dutch order. The lefty takes a strike on the outside edge. Dufty back in center field now after he pitched the third. So it's Wilson in left, Dufty center, Whittle in right. Wong with some nice breaking stuff has had Gieling fooled a couple of times. There's the 1-2 to the cleanup hitter. So through 3 innings, the Netherlands has had 14 runners reach safely, 14 hitters reach safely. 2-2, that one is golfed into right, it's falling, and it's down, base hit. Looked like either Hill or Whittle might have had a play on that one, so now that's 15 hitters to reach safely. And we've just started the 4th. So the Netherlands has played 16 total innings. In those 16 innings, over the course, spread out over the course of 3 games, here's Willem, by the way, they have had 53 hitters reach safely, which is outrageous. That's more than 3 base runners an inning they have averaged. And again, we're only halfway through this one. There goes the runner. That one's popped up. Foul ground. Out of play. Ironically, there's actually been 3 half innings for the Dutch where they went down in order. They failed to reach safely. I think no 1-2-3 inning more perilous than the bottom of the 7th yesterday in the 16-13 loss in extras to Curacao. Willem lets that miss low. With the score tied 13-all, the Netherlands went down 1-2-3 in that 7th, and then watched their opponent score 3 in the top of the 8th. They went down quietly in the home 8th. That's what sent them to the elimination side. But that's just astounding. 53 hitters have reached safely in 16 innings. Again, that's an average of more than 3 an inning. Well, we're 2/3 of the way there. Willem wears that one on his back. Gieling to second. Willem aboard. Leify van der Graaf is coming up. This one just got away from Wong.
The third baseman, number 8, Levi DeGraff.
Van der Graaf bunched that one foul. No surprise that it bounced pretty tight up that third base line. This one came in on him. Bluffs, pulls the bat back, then attempts to possibly bunt once more. Throw down a second, and Gieling is able to retreat back before a heroic throw from Hay. So of the 53 hitters that have reached safely, or make it now 54, as a team, 16 innings, they only have 3 extra base hits. They're not incapable of power, but when you're drawing a lot of walks or you're taking pitches off your left shoulder or right shoulder, sometimes those extra base hits just naturally can lack. Kyer doubled today. Mainsma homered and Hazel doubled in the loss yesterday. And then in their opener, Lorenzo Willem doubled. So take it back, they have 4. So the umpires are going to the monitor here. I don't see anything definitive that would suggest that Geeling got tagged on the way back to second. That was a pretty aggressive secondary lead. Unless they're trying to make the case that Soper got the mitt on Geeling's foot right there. But can we see anything definitive that says his hand is not in ahead of the tag? And that's what the umpires are trying to sort out right now. So after replay review, Geeling is in fact safe at second base. The count's still 1-1. Oh, and they got Geeling leading now. The cruel irony. If they can execute this one properly. And Wilmshurst does slap the tag on the first baseman. They pick him off, 1 away. So watch on the leg kick. Geeling starts to go, and then they got him. In the process, Willem advanced to second base. So 1 out, and Van de Graaff is still waiting for a pitch. Outside edge for a strike. It's been a long wait for Leify Van de Graaff. That's a long delay between pitches seen. Chokes up with 2 strikes. Wong delivers. Van de Graaff waits on the breaking pitch and bounces it foul. Comes to 1-2. That's inside. Wong trying to dig deep here. He delivers. payoff. Misses badly up and in. So now runners at first and second for the Dutch. They've drawn a walk in every inning.
The pitcher, number 24, Matthijs Schulterboer.
And they've drawn nine walks now in 3 1/3 innings. This is Matthijs Schulte-Terhorst. He came on in relief in the top half of this inning, struck out a pair. Takes a strike. Schulte-Terhorst got Joseph Hill swinging, the second baseman, and Cyril Wilson, the left fielder, looking at a called third strike. Both of those at-bats with runners at second and third. So he stranded a pair. Now he can help his own cause in the bottom half of the fourth. Here's the 0-1. Slowing away. Now Wong, understandably, has had to pay close attention to the runners. Problem there is he's just hasn't been able to settle into a rhythm locating his pitches. And that time, Hay called time behind the plate. Pretty consequential moment in the middle of an elimination game. Wong deals. Schulte-Terhorst bounces it hard to Soper, who collects it cleanly, fires on to first. Both runners advance, but now there's 2 out for New Zealand. Van de Graaff, he took off on that pitch. And so that's what prevented Soper from trying to start a double play. So the inning continues with Javon Vicario. Singled in a run his last time up, and now he's got 2 more on. Waves and misses, strike 1. Vicario also walked and scored a run back in the second. Here's Wong's offering. That breaking pitch is loops just a little too high above the letters. Vicario, the one man on the Dutch roster who was born in Curacao. He's from Montana. Wong looks at the runner at second, pauses, and he gets Vicario all turned around that time. Now he steps in. Willem and Van der Graaff on base with 2 out in the fourth. Here comes a 1-2. Swing, fouled back. Well, Vicario is aggressive. He's not going to go up there and look at fastballs. Or look at any breaking pitches either. Wong trying to get out of this. Vicario turns on it. It's foul. That one was right in his wheelhouse. And just a fraction ahead of that one. Wong delivers. Here comes the 2-2. Vicario drills it, foul again. I think he is making it abundantly clear that is not where you want to miss. Is on the inside half of the plate to the hard swinging second baseman. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Vicario. With 2 in scoring position. Here it is. Breaking pitch, that's lifted, out to left. Wilson has it lined up, and Wong strands a pair. We are done with 4, and the Netherlands lead it by 3. Netherlands 6, New Zealand 3. Second elimination game of the day from JB Owen Sports Complex in Easley. History will be made this August as professional softball comes to Greenville, North Carolina for the first time ever. Athletes Unlimited Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. It's going to be on August 8th and 9th. And learn more at littleleague.org/athletesunlimited. New Zealand has to get to work. We press on into the 5th inning. It scored 3 runs in the first inning. And it looked like this was a motivated and recharged team after it lost its opener on Saturday to Mexico. First full inning of work for Matthias Schulte-Terhorst. Misses inside to Caleb Dufty. Center fielder now has a favorable 2-ball, no-strike count. That was a game in which New Zealand tallied just 4 hits, that's all. That's high. They batted around in that first inning. Drew a couple of walks. The big hit was the 2-run single for Jack Rust. And they certainly were a spirited bunch. Since then, they've had some runners on, particularly the last half inning. But with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position, they couldn't get either of them home. Schulte-Terhorst, who just walked the leadoff man here, came out of the pen and struck out a pair. So New Zealand has the leadoff runner on again for a second straight inning. This is Liam Hay. He's 0 for 2. He's popped out to Vicario at second. This time, though, he lines one over Van de Graaf's head into left. So a pair of base runners for New Zealand. This is an important sequence right now for the visiting club. If they lose this one, their trip to Easley was all for naught. They will be eliminated. And Brandon Wilmshurst, who drove in a run in the first inning and also drove in that lone run on Saturday, is set to hit next. And New Zealand is going to bring a pinch runner in here for Hay. That's Jintaro Miyata. So it's Dufty at second, Miyata now at first, and the very dangerous Wilmshurst stepping in. A passionate bunch of baseball lovers, this group that earned the distinction of Asia Pacific region champs, earned the right to be here. Baseball is obviously a very niche sport in New Zealand. Cricket and rugby are the country's 2 most prominent and popular sports for sure. There really is only one true example. That's a nice stop that time by Willem. There's really only one true example of a Kiwi born and raised to a New Zealand family that was eventually signed by an MLB organization. That was Gus Ledger, who was signed by the California Angels in 1993, so 30 years ago. Here's the 1-1. That one is ripped towards the hole. Kyer up with it. Was thinking about third for a second. Long throw across the diamond is not in time. Knocked down, though, by Gehling. And New Zealand has got the tying run on base now. Kyer fielded this one deep in the hole. It was just a difficult play, as it's a really long throw across the diamond. Didn't quite have the angle to get it to Vondergraaf over at third. And now, after a walk and 2 singles, New Zealand has got some life here in the 5th. So Garria's got to settle his team down here. Base is full. Here's Jack Rust, who was at the dish in similar circumstances back in the 1st, and knocked in a pair with a single. Here we go. Takes that one above the letters. Oh, that one kicks away. Runner from third stays put. Again, it's just such a short backstop, so any even wild kick up the netting, let's say, is going to bounce back down more often than not pretty close to the plate or the catcher. And with this being really the first foray for most of these players, especially the 15-year-olds, on this size of a field, that's a long way to go from third to home. So you have to know that that one is out of reach. 2-0, Tapper towards Kyer. Where does he do with this one? Goes to second. Vicario's turn. In time, it's a double play. Now New Zealand does score the run from third. Dufty makes it a 6-4 game. Wow, a critical 6-4-3 turn for the Netherlands defense. And Miata winds up at third. On a bit of a slow roller as well. Kyer, quick transfer, makes up for the transgression a moment ago. And they get him at first. But New Zealand still has a very important runner sitting at third. Whittle takes that for a strike. Whittle replaced Kyle Roberts in the DH slot an inning ago. He walked in the 4th, and he's up here representing the tying run. Can he bring home Miata? Swings and taps that one up the line, but foul. A 7-inning regulation game. So for the for New Zealand rather, there's only 2 innings left to work with. They've got a pivotal runner sitting at third they would like to bring home. Now the 0-2. That's left up high. Matthias Schulte ter Horst trying to get out of it again. Swing and a rip, but foul. Schulte Terhorst stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the 4th inning when he came out of the pen, so can he strand Miata as well? Here it comes. Breaking pitch. It's inside. Second chance for Whittle. Oh, wow. That looks like that one's near the knees as well. And Schulte Terhorst is just going to have to dig deep. Payoff pitches coming home. Swing and a tapper. Over to Van de Graaff. He collects, throws, inning over. New Zealand does score 1. But the Dutch still hold a lead. The excitement of the World Series can be downloaded in the new Little League World Series app. Fans can view schedules, watch highlights, and plan their experience using the Little League World Series app. So download today. The Netherlands now are 6 outs away from keeping their season alive. Because it lost to Curacao yesterday, it winds up on the elimination half of the bracket now. And 6 outs away from advancing to play Wednesday, where it would face the winner of Canada and Mexico. Cairo Hazel leads off, the number 9 hitter, in the bottom half of the 5th against Hurley Wong again. This is his 2nd inning of work. That game will be played later today. Mexico and Canada meet in our final elimination game of the day at 7:30. We've already seen Illinois go home. Hawaii defeated the Central Region champs earlier today. Big swing and a miss from Hazel. Hawaii advances to play on Wednesday. And so the format now, the field starts to shrink a bit. We have the 4 elimination games today, so 4 teams will advance on both the U.S. and the international side to keep their seasons going. On Tuesday will be the very highly anticipated U.S. and international semifinals. They turn into a semifinal game between Easley, South Carolina, the hosts, who have won twice, and the East Region champs, New Jersey. Those two meet on the U.S. side. Winner goes to the U.S. final, which is on Friday. So the winner of that one gets a couple of days of rest. Wong ready to go. And boy, that one nearly plunks Hazel on the left shoulder. Then on the other side, we've got Australia and Curacao. Those two will battle tomorrow night. And again, those two games act as semifinals because the winners advance to both the U.S. and international finals. 3-2 is roped right to the first baseman. Rust reaches up and makes a nice catch. One gone. We go back to the top of the order now with Brewers due up next against Wong. Hazel perhaps thinking he's got himself a base hit, but Rust has that long reach over at first, plus he was positioned nicely. So here's Colin Brewers. Brewers takes a strike. He's driven in a run. He's also scored a run. He has singled and walked, plus he's stolen a base. Very busy box score for these Netherlands hitters. And so that's what makes today very important. So for the 8 teams that are playing today, they would theoretically have to win 4 straight games just to reach the World Series championship game on Saturday. So from here, rather, you have to win 5. That's the only way to be deemed champs. Wong coming home. Leaves that one high and away. Does Mark Irwin's team have a little comeback in them? We're now officially 3 times through the order for the Netherlands. So every starter has had 3 plate appearances. None of them have struck out. Everybody has put the ball into play or has walked or been hit. 3-2, wave and a miss, and there you go. There's the first. So Hurley Wong is retired 4 in a row. And that's the first Netherlands hitter to go down on strikes. Tristan Kyer is up next. Great breaking pitch that time by Wong. Wong is shown that he is very measured and he's very methodical on the mound in terms of pacing. But he has done what no Kiwi pitcher has done today, and that is throw a scoreless inning. The 4th inning was a scoreless frame for the Netherlands, and he's an out away from doing the same here. Now he's starting to find his groove. Kyer waits on the breaking pitch and tops it foul. So Kyer has to protect with 2 strikes. Kyer, the 15-year-old star in the lineup, has doubled and walked today. He's 1 for 2. This is an important stretch for Hurley Wong, for sure. Can he get this to the 6th and post 2 scoreless innings? That would be quite significant. He delivers. Wave and a miss, strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 fit for Hurley Wong. And New Zealand, after scoring a run in the 5th, they've got a little momentum now, a little bounce in the step. They hit next in the 6th. Start of the 6th inning. And this elimination game featuring the Asia-Pacific region champs, New Zealand, and Netherlands, the champions of the Europe-Africa region. If you want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball, visit playlittleleague.org. Enter your address to find a Little League community near you. Cairo Hazel is digging back for this one, is not going to get to it. Hurley Wong digging for 3. The throw beats him, and he's out. A critical mistake with your team down 2 runs. It's a double, and the relay beats the New Zealand runner at 3rd. Wong tagged that one high in the air and pushed Hazel all the way back towards the track. He picks it up, and he goes 9-4-5. He's out. In a game in which New Zealand is trailing by 2, that's a very tough break. They would have had the leadoff runner on in scoring position, but instead 1 out, nobody on for the top of the order. This is Regan Soper. Soper drills that one into center. Brewers plays it on a hop. And right there is perfect example of that would have brought in a run, theoretically. And it might be a one-run game right here. But New Zealand's got to keep swinging. 2 hits to start the inning nonetheless. There's Joseph Hill. Got a pitch right down the middle, lets it go for strike 1. Fouled back. So Matthias Schulte-Terhorst has 2 strikes on Hill. Hill represents the tying run in a pivotal elimination game. Oh, 2 breaking ball is topped foul. That time Schulte-Terhorst had Hill fooled on that one. He's got 2 strikes on the number 2 hitter. And that one is a little high. Two-run game in the late innings. 1-2. Breaking pitch and oy. That's punched foul. Joe Hill 1 for 3 today, singled and scored in the first inning. And he bounced out to Matthias' little brother, Stein Schulte-Terhorst, who started today in the second inning and also struck out against the older bro in the fourth. A 2-run game in the 6th. 2-2. That one finally got him. Called third strike. It's the third punch out for Matthias Schulte-Terhorst. So now 2 gone in the 6th inning. And Hill knew it. He was not expecting that one. So here's Cyril Wilson. He's walked twice. He also looked at a called third strike as well against this same right-hander 2 innings ago. And he's not looking here. First pitch swinging, and he tops it foul. Soper at first in a 2-run game. The winner advances and would play Wednesday to keep its season and its tournament alive. Loser goes home. 0-1 is in the dirt. There's a 1-1. Wilson doesn't chase. Good eye that time to lay off the pitch in the dirt. Cyril Wilson, the 16-year-old from Papatoetoe, an Auckland suburb, fouls that one back to the net. And so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In an inning in which New Zealand had a leadoff double But the culprit, Hurley Wong, was thrown out trying to stretch that double into a triple. Soper singled. Might have brought Wong home, but instead, 2 out, 1 on, and now the count goes full. Here's a payoff, and that one spiked, so not close. And now you have 2 on. So the tying run is on base for New Zealand. And you've got the heart of the order at the plate here with Caleb Dufty expected next.
Center fielder number 12, Caleb Dufty.
Here comes Sherman Gario. He calls time. A 37-year-old from Aruba wants to have a conversation with Schulte Terhorst before a very important sequence is about to transpire here. Tying run is on base, and the cleanup hitter for New Zealand is in the box. Caleb Dufty, 0 for 2 in his first plate appearances, walked and scored in the 5th. He scored 2 of New Zealand's runs. Now can he plate 1 or 2? 2 gone in the 6th. New Zealand down to its final 4 outs with it trailing by 2. Dufty attacks the first pitch, tops it foul. Waits on the 0-1. Breaking pitch, fooled him, strike 2. Soper's at second, Wilson at first. He represents the tying run. Now the 0-2 from Schulte Terhorst. Got him swinging at it. Willem completes the strikeout, and the threat is over. 4 strikeouts for Matthias Schulte Terhorst. And the Netherlands are 3 outs away from advancing to play again Wednesday. Keep their World Series alive. Schulte Terhorst clutch when he had to be. Bottom of the 6th inning with the Netherlands leading New Zealand 6-4. The Dutch back at the plate for what they would love to be the last time of the afternoon. 7 innings is a regulation game at the Senior League Baseball level, so the Dutch are 3 outs away from keeping their tournament alive and advancing to play Wednesday. And if the Netherlands is able to do that, it would need to win 3 more games in 3 days, Wednesday through Friday, to advance to the World Series championship game. And all that matters is just keeping the dream alive. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Dutch here in the 6th. They went down in order in the 5th, the first time that's happened today. Hurley Wong really starting to settle into a groove. This is his 3rd inning of work on the hill for New Zealand. The 1-0 to Joris Mainsma is in for a strike, so the count evens at 1 apiece. Mainsma has walked twice. And he scored 1 of the Netherlands' 6 runs. Wong delivers. Strike three. Mainsma swings and misses, and so Hurley Wong has really tightened things up a bit, and he is locating this curveball with great effectiveness. He has struck out the last three Dutch hitters, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the order, and he gets ahead of Twan Geeling here. Here comes the 0-1 to the cleanup hitter. He finally makes contact with on that pitch, but he rolls it foul. 2 hits for Geeling, plus an RBI. He scored a run in the first inning. That opening frame featured 6 runs. New Zealand scored 3 times, and then the Netherlands answered with 3 of their own. Now the problem is they scored 3 over the next 2 innings. The problem for New Zealand, that is. 0-2, Geeling flails at that one. Hay completes the strikeout. That is 4 in a row for Wong. He is locked in right now. The first 3 times through the order, no Netherlands hitter struck out. Now Wong has struck out the last 4, the first 4 in the order. So the Netherlands is, they are showing maybe their next opponent something here, perhaps. Lorenzo Willem takes that one high. The Dutch are 3 outs away from advancing to play Wednesday, and so it would face either Mexico or Canada, the winner of that game, later today. But they got to finish things off in the top half of the 7th and protect, as of now, a 2-run lead. That is something it didn't do yesterday against the mighty Caribbean champs Curacao. Eventually lost in extras in that game yesterday. Willem has worked the count, 3 balls, no strikes. But Matthias Schulte ter Horst, who you would think would be back out there for the 7th, appears to be in a nice rhythm as well. So Wong had retired 7 in a row. Very impressive stretch before that Willem walk.
The third baseman, number 8, Lipa Duclair.
It's 10 walks today for the Netherlands. In just about 19 innings of play for the Netherlands in this tournament, so 19 innings over 3 games, they have walked 27 times as a team. A pretty eye-popping figure. Also collected 6 hits today. They actually have more walks than hits in this tournament. 24 hits compared to 27 walks. Goodness. Here's the 1-1 to Leify van der Graaf. Takes that one low, 2 balls and a strike. Wong just needs 1 more out to give his chance, to give his team a chance in the top half of the 7th. 2, a lot more manageable than 3 or more. Throw down to first, and they got Willem leaning, and they got him caught in a rundown. Flip back to look like Hill, and yes, Hill put the tag on him. Inning is over. New Zealand has one last chance to keep its season and tournament alive. If not, it's bounced from the World Series. Start of the 7th inning, elimination game. Netherlands by 2. If it hangs on, its tournament remains alive and it advances to play Wednesday. Last chance for New Zealand, the Asia Pacific region champs. Down 2 in the top half of the 7th. And it's 5, 6, and 7 due up against the right-hander, Matthias Schulte-Terhorst. First offering to Liam Hay was in the dirt, and he fouls the next one off, so the count evens at a ball and a strike. Liam Hay, Brandon Wilmshurst, and Jack Rust. Here's the pitch. There's a swing, a liner. That one's off of Van der Graaf's mitt, and it's down the line. New Zealand has a leadoff runner on, and it's Liam Hay's second hit of the day. Good piece of hitting. Got something that he wanted to just turn on, and he drilled it down the line. Brandon Wilmshurst, who has driven in 2 runs in New Zealand's 2 games at the plate. He represents the tying run. And things have gotten a bit more interesting. Pinch runner over at first. That's Juntaro Miyata. Pitch in the dust. Willem blocks it, runner stays. Throw to first, very close. Miyata gets back in ahead of the tag. Wilmshurst singled in the 5th. Walked in the 1st. 1-0, he rips it right to Kyer. Catches, trying to double up the runner. And it may have hit the back of Miyata. Perhaps his arm. Now he's starting to favor that right wrist, it looks like. There's 1 out, regardless. Right to Kyer. Miyata tried to freeze as best he could. The throw back to the base. Yeah, it hit the runner. And it hit him right on the right arm. He started to favor it immediately. And the medical personnel are out on the field to assess Miyata's right arm. It's a nice play from Kyer, but boy, a tough break there for Wilmshurst. He hit it right on the barrel of the bat. So watch the ball coming in. Yeah, and there it hit him right on the wrist. And that's not a fun place to get hit. But Miyata is one tough, competitive youngster, and he stays in this game. He's the speedy runner at first. Now it's Jack Rust who represents, once again, the tying run for New Zealand. They're down 2 and down to their final 2 outs. The winner lives to see another day. That pitch is in the dust, and it gets by the catcher. Willem can't find it. It's behind the umpire. And Miyata's down to second. Now, if you're Schulte-Terhorst, the runner at second is essentially meaningless. The last thing you want to have happen is have the runner soak up any of your attention or focus. There's a 1-0 to Rust. The curveball is left upstairs. In the dirt. Jaden Whittle is expected to hit next. He's on deck for New Zealand. And he would represent, if Rust were to get on, the go-ahead run in the 7th. Schulte to Horst trying to find the zone. That's there for a strike. Harlem's Kennemerland Little League protecting a 2-run lead in the 7th inning. The 3-1 swing, and that one is driven deep down the line. Long run, and it's foul. Mainjma, boy, made it interesting for a moment. He almost got there first off, but that one falls just foul, and Jack Rust nearly had maybe the biggest hit of the day by less than 5 feet. Biggest hit of the day, at least to this point. Schulte to Horst has worked it back to a full count. There's a payoff. Swing and a rip down the line. This one's foul. Oh, that is brutal for Rust, who drove in 2 back in the 1st inning with a base hit. He's grounded out twice since, and you can see the angst on his face. On back-to-back pitches, he thought he had maybe extra bases. Here we go. Off speed, outside edge. It's a called 3rd strike. 2 gone. It's up to Jaden Whittle to keep the inning alive. Third plate appearance for the lefty. Swings and misses. He grounded out to 3rd his last time up, and he walked in the 4th. That's Miata at 2nd. Here comes the 0-1. Strike 2. Oh, 2 on the way. Whittle wisely lays off. Do or die moment. Winner advances. The loser goes home. Schulte to Horst. Deals. Breaking pitch. That one loops over the letters, so the count evens. That one was very close as well. Whittle represents the tying run. If he could somehow get on, New Zealand would be in business. 2-2 in the dirt. So it's a full count with 2 away in the 7th. Here we go. The payoff is on the way. It's a fastball dribbled to Kyer on the left side. He bobbles it. Everybody's safe. He throws to 3rd where Miata got back. The tying run for New Zealand is aboard. Usually the very sure-handed shortstop bobbled that one. Now Whittle was running hard, but it just ate Kyer up. And here comes Hurley Wong, who doubled his last time up. and was thrown out trying to stretch the double into a triple. Can he right the mistake an inning later? Tying run is on base. That's huge for New Zealand. First pitch fastball's away. Right-hander fires. That one kicks in front of the plate, and the runner from second takes off. Throw there is high. Vicario backs it up. Miata stays at third. The tying run is in scoring position. Wow, what was Whittle playing with fire here? The throw was high, and luckily Vicario backed it up. The Netherlands are tightening up a little bit here. 2-0. Outside corner for a strike. A base hit could potentially tie things up. And Schulte to Horst lock it down. 2-0, foul tip off the mitt. And so New Zealand down to its final strike again. With the tying run now potentially just a base hit away. Wong waits. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. And the Netherlands advances. Their season, their tournament, their World Series remains alive. And it will play again Wednesday. They knock out the Asia Pacific region champs, New Zealand, who had the tying run on base, but come up empty. A cold-blooded breaking ball to close it out, and then the roar. Matthias Schulte to Horst lets out afterward. Ball game over. Stein and Matthias, they take it the whole way on the mound. The brothers Schulte to Horst. Stein went 3 1/3. Matthias, the final 3 1/3 innings. And Matthias wound up striking out 6 over those 3 1/3. New Zealand is on the way home. And a tip of the cap to a heck of a club. A competitive team that nearly mounted the comeback. They gave it their all, deserved to be on this stage, and yet their tournament is over. Quite the battle, and we hope you enjoyed this one from Easley. There's still more to come. So while the Netherlands wins and moves on to play Wednesday, it will face the winner of our next game. Texas and Irmo, South Carolina. The Southwest and Southeast regional champs meet in approximately 30 minutes. That's all for now from Easley. For our entire crew, I'm Kevin saying so long from the Senior League Baseball World Series.